Hello and welcome to the Harbor Cross Training Program on COR Interview Questions Part 2, Chapter 19, Version 1.0. Harbor Cross is committed to health and safety and believes in order to be effective, health and safety must be cultural and expressed at all levels of the organization. This is our agenda for today. Remember, this is a continuation from last week's Toolbox talk on COR Interview Questions Part 1. First, we'll discuss the Safety Audit Review. Next, we'll move into interview questions, including Element 9, Workplace Inspections, Element 10, Investigations and Reporting, Element 11, Emergency Response, Element 12, Statistics and Records, Element 13, Legislation, Element 14, Occupational Health, Element 15, First Aid, Element 16, Health and Safety Reps, Joint Health and Safety Committees, Element 17, Workplace Violence and Harassment, and lastly, Element 19, Management Review. Safety Audit Review. IHSA core membership programs have the following requirements. First, you need to have a health and safety program. Next, that safety program must be reviewed and audited annually. The audit is based on 3 factors, including a review of documentation, site observations, and a series of interview questions for both workers and management members. To be successful, the minimum must be achieved. First off, you must have a passing score overall of at least 80%, and in each element, your minimum passing score must be 65%. You are also required to have 100% compliance on all legislative requirements, and interview questions must have a minimum pass rate of 51%. The core interview questions are based on 19 elements, but for part 2 of this training session, we're going to focus on everything from element 9 all the way to element 19. That's workplace inspections all the way to the management review. What to expect during an interview. First off, don't be scared, don't be nervous, and don't be shy. The interview process is designed to check that a company has a safety program in place and that it is being reviewed. The auditor will treat this more as a conversation. They want to get to know you and your company. They may ask you, how long have you been with the company? What is your role? What happened to the Toronto Maple Leafs this year? They want to make you comfortable. Although this is designed to be fun, remember, this is an audit and we will be scored based on our performance. So let's take the process seriously and answer to our best. Interview questions. Element 9. Questions for management. Are you performing workplace inspections as required? Answer, yes. Every day I perform a workplace inspection and once a week I complete a formal inspection and submit it to the safety department. Question 2. How are the results of inspections communicated to senior management? Answer, every week I submit my workplace inspections to the safety department that reviews it with senior management. They use this information to develop toolbox talks and lessons learned that are passed along to other job sites. And lastly, question 3. How do you communicate the inspection results to workers? Answer, I post a copy of my inspection on the safety bulletin board. Questions for workers. Does the supervisor do a workplace inspection and how often? Answer, yes. My supervisor does an inspection once a week and asks me if I have any safety concerns, which is recorded on the inspection form. Question 2. Are you or any other worker involved in the inspection process? The answer, yes. I perform an inspection on my tools, heavy equipment, and working at heights equipment before each use. I have inspection forms to use. And lastly, question 3. How do you find out about the inspection results? Answer, workplace inspections are posted on the safety board. This includes the inspections from the superintendent, the Joint Health and Safety Committee, or the Ministry of Labor. And again, this is just a sample of our safety board, and if you look at the bottom row here, you'll see site inspections from the superintendent. That's where it will be kept. This is a copy of a fully completed site inspection, and you'll notice they'll include not only comments and the check marks, but also some helpful pictures and comments from workers. Element 10. Questions for management. Does someone do an investigation when an incident occurs? Describe an investigation that was performed. Answer, yes. I, along with the safety department, perform an inspection when an incident occurs. We have an accident grab-and-go package. Now, if you have specific examples from your job sites, please use it as additional reference. Question 2. Have you been trained on how to investigate incidences, including your organization's specific reporting procedures? The answer, yes. The safety department issued a training program and test. When I passed my test, I was issued a training card. Everyone on site should have been trained on the accident investigation process. If you haven't, please contact the safety department so we can issue you proper training. Question 3. Are near misses reported? Are preventative actions developed as a result? Answer, yes. They are kept in the hazard near miss binder. The safety department reviews them and issues toolbox talks or develops safety procedures. Question 4. Are preventative actions implemented as soon as possible? Answer, yes. Our policy is to develop both preventative and corrective actions for all incidences, and they are recorded on the form. And number 5. How do you let workers know about the corrective and preventative actions that have been made? Answer, after an accident or incident, a mandatory toolbox talk is issued and reviewed with workers to identify both the corrective and preventative action items. I verify this through my site inspections that workers are following the rules. Questions for workers. Number 1. Does someone do an investigation when an incident occurs? Describe an incident that was investigated. Answer, yes. My supervisor and the safety department performs an investigation, and again, if you have a site-specific example, please use it for additional reference. Question 2. How do you report incidences and or near misses? Answer, I report them to my supervisor or the safety department directly and participate in the investigation process. Question 3. Do you report near misses? Explain to whom you report them to and how. Answer, yes. I report them to my supervisor or the safety department using the hazard near miss form. Question 4. After an incident or near miss, how soon after are changes made to correct the problem? Give one example. Answer, right away. We had an asbestos incident on the job site in February. As part of the preventative action, all workers had to go through asbestos awareness training and review a mandatory toolbox talk on the incident itself. And lastly, question 5. How do you find out that an incident has occurred and what changes have been made? Answer, after an accident or incident, a mandatory toolbox talk is issued and reviewed with me by my supervisor where we discuss the corrective and preventative action items. I also give feedback and send it directly to the safety department. This is a copy of the Harbridge & Cross Accident Grab and Go package. It should be posted at or near the first aid box or with the site superintendent. The second form is the hazard near miss form. Now, this form can be filled out either by the worker rep or the safety department. However, it must be verified by the site superintendent that the action item has been corrected and closed out appropriately. Tips and tricks. What is the difference between corrective and preventative action items? Well, first off, corrective action items is an activity that is performed right away to eliminate or control the hazard. Preventative action are policies or procedures to control a hazard before it occurs. The goal is prevention. So, for example, if you've come across an opening in the floor, the immediate response, the corrective action, is to control the hazard with either a guardrail or a floor covering. The policy moving forward, or the preventative action, is to secure all floor openings as soon as they're exposed by either setting a control zone around them or covering them up directly. So again, this is the whole. This is how we've corrected it immediately, and then moving forward, if we ever come across any kind of holes on the ground, we're going to cover them up as part of our policy. Element 11. Questions for management. What is your role and responsibilities in the emergency preparedness plan? Answer, my role is to direct and provide support in an emergency situation. I perform a head count at the assembly area and give the all clear after an emergency. So as a supervisor, your goal is to control the emergency situation, give direction, and ensure everyone is accounted for. Question 2. How is an emergency communicated to the workers? Answer, I communicate an emergency by blowing an air horn 3 times. Question 3. If someone gets hurt on the job, how do they get to the hospital or medical center? Answer. If a member of my team is hurt, I will take them to the nearest hospital. The map is posted on the safety bulletin board. We also have a grab and go hospital map. Questions for workers. Number 1. What is your responsibility should a workplace emergency occur? Answer. I am to help the site superintendent out. I am also to secure my work zone and meet at the assembly area. Question 2. If an emergency were to occur right now, how would you know? Answer. I would hear an air horn blast 3 times, or if I'm inside a building, I would hear a fire alarm. So on all Harbridge & Cross sites, we should have this poster posted called the Emergency Assembly Area. This is where everyone needs to meet in order for us to do a head count. And if somebody doesn't make it to the emergency area, then what we're going to do is mobilize our emergency crews to do a sweep of the building. Element 12. Statistics and records. There's only one question that's dedicated towards management. And the question is, after the last audit, was an action plan developed and implemented, and how was this communicated to the workforce? The answer. The safety department at IHSA performed a safety assessment in February on the company's health and safety program and developed a continuous improvement action plan, which was implemented right away. This was reviewed in a mandatory toolbox talk in April to all job sites. Now, one of the new measures that was developed as part of this continuous improvement plan is that our DTA forms have been updated to show a visual check of PPE. So again, if you need more information, please refer back to our toolbox talk back in April where we discussed the continuous improvement action plan on our health and safety program. Element 13, legislation. Questions for management. Number 1. How does health and safety legislation impact your job planning? Answer. Health and safety legislation is critical to my job planning. For example, subcontractors cannot mobilize on site until I receive their submittal package. This includes their safety manual, WSIB clearance number, SDS sheets, Form 1000, and copy of the insurance. Question 2. What are your rights and responsibilities regarding health and safety in the workplace? Answer. As a supervisor, I am responsible for hazard recognition and encouraging everyone to report accidents to me. Also, I have the right to know about my hazards, the right to participate in hazard discussions, and the right to refuse unsafe work. Questions for workers. Number 1. Tell me where you would find the health and safety legislation if you needed it. The answer. It is posted on the safety board. Question 2. Have you been trained on your rights and responsibilities regarding health and safety in the workplace? Give some examples. Answer. Yes. And the examples include you have the right to know about your hazards, the right to participate in discussions, and the right to refuse unsafe work. Element 14, occupational health. Questions for management. Number 1. Are you familiar with the company's chemical spill cleanup procedure? Explain the process. Answer. Yes. I reviewed it during my pre-start program. The safety department also sent out training and a mandatory toolbox talk. Question 2. Can you explain the procedure to be followed when entering a confined space? Answer. Typically, at Harvard and Cross, we do not participate in confined space work. However, we do have a procedure located in Chapter 4 of our safety manual. We need to have confined space training, perform atmospheric testing, complete the entry permit, and have specialized PPE. Question 3. Are the toilets and wash-up facilities cleaned and maintained on a scheduled basis? Answer. Yes. They are cleaned weekly by our service company. Inspection tags are found inside the washroom. On some projects, our clients provide the washrooms for construction use and are responsible for regular service. Question 4. Do you ensure that there is an adequate amount of drinking water on site? Answer. Yes. As a supervisor, it is my responsibility to provide drinking water for Harvard and Cross staff. During my inspections, I verify that water is available for all my staff. Questions for workers. Number 1. Are you trained or do you know anyone trained in the cleanup procedure to use when you find a chemical spill? The answer. Yes. Question 2. Are you aware of any special procedures to be followed before entering a confined space? The answer. Yes. I need to have training, perform an air test, and complete entry permit. Question 3. Are the toilets and wash-up areas kept clean? Are there always sufficient supplies? The answer. Yes. Question 4. Is there always a good supply of drinking water on site? The answer. Yes. And lastly, number 5. What do you do if you find a WMIS label missing or badly damaged? The answer. I report it to my supervisor and complete a workplace label. This is just a sample here of a workplace label, and it includes 4 items, including the product name, the WMIS hazard symbols, safe handling precautions, and a reference to the SDS sheet for additional information. You can find more information on this on our WMIS training program located on the Harvard and Cross YouTube page. Element 15. Question for management. Number 1. Do you ensure that a qualified first aider is in charge of the first aid station on site? Answer. Yes. I post a copy of all their first aid certificates on the first aid box. Questions for workers. Number 1. Who is in charge of the first aid station nearest you? Where are they now? The answer. My supervisor. All Harvard and Cross supervisors should be trained on first aid. Element 16. Health and Safety Rep, Joint Health and Safety Committee. Question 1 for management. Is there a health and safety representative on site? How was he or she made the representative? Answer. Yes. Information is posted on the safety board, and they were selected unanimously. Question 2. How is the Joint Health and Safety Committee set up in your workplace? Answer. When we reach 20 plus workers for 3 or more months, on site, we set up a Joint Health and Safety Committee that meets once a month. Our safety department helps with the meeting minutes. Questions for workers. Number 1. Who is the health and safety rep on site? How are they selected? Answer. I am the health and safety rep on site and I was selected unanimously. Question 2. Who represents workers on the Joint Health and Safety Committee? Note, this will only be asked if there is a Joint Health and Safety Committee set up on site, and you can always refer to the member selection poster. This is the member selection poster, and it's only posted on sites where we have a Joint Health and Safety Committee. It identifies the worker members, management members, and the Joint Health and Safety schedule. Element 17, Workplace Violence and Harassment. Questions for management. Number 1. How does the violence and harassment policy address your responsibilities with regards to your personal safety and the safety of others? Where can you find a copy of the policy and program? Answer: everyone has the right to work in a violence and harassment free work zone. I am to lead by example by following the Harbinger Cross policy, which is posted on the safety board or inside the safety manual. Question 2. Has your organization conducted a violence risk assessment? What were the results? Answer: a violence and harassment risk assessment occurred at the start of my project and is reviewed annually by the safety department and me. We also have a procedure for summoning help and keep all records with the pre-start program. Question 3. What is the procedure for reporting violence and harassment incidences? Answer: workers are to report violence and harassment to me. If I am harassing them, they are to contact the safety department. Questions for workers. Number 1. Where would you find a copy of the violence and harassment policy and guidelines? How does the policy apply to you? Answer: a copy is posted on the safety board. I am to treat everybody with respect and dignity. Question 2. How would you report an incident of violence or harassment? Answer: I would report to my supervisor. If my supervisor is harassing me, I would call the safety department or general superintendent. Element 19, Management Review. Question 1 for management. How does your organization communicate the annual occupational health and safety objectives to the worker? Answer: we post it on the safety board and review it during orientation. We also discuss it at our annual safety awards event. Question for workers. Number 1. Name 2 of your organization's health and safety objectives for the upcoming year. Answer: our 2 safety goals are, number 1, to get workers involved in the inspection process. This is posted on our safety board. And 2, the second goal is to become COR certified. If you have any questions about this training program, please contact the Harbinger Cross Safety Department. Thank you and have a great day.